Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down a question that's honestly keeping defense analysts up at night. How does a $10 million tank, built by the most feared engineers in the world, end up getting taken out by a $300 drone? Let's get into it. Before we talk about losses, we gotta talk about reputation first. For 8 decades, German tank has basically meant one thing: total dominance. From the Panzer divisions back in the 1940s, to the modern Leopard 2 used by over a dozen NATO countries today, German engineering didn't just build war machines. They built pure psychological dread. The Leopard 2 isn't your average tank. Layered composite armor. A 120mm smoothbore cannon that can punch through targets from over 3 kilometers out. A stabilization system so good it can land accurate shots while ripping across rough terrain at speed. That's exactly why Poland, Finland, and Ukraine's allies lined up to buy these things. Not because they're cheap. One unit runs north of $10 million, but because it promises something you can't put a price on: your crew coming home alive. For over 50 years, the tank was king of the battlefield. Nothing could crack that armor and live to tell the story. But let's see what happens when this king runs into a threat it was never built to fight. Okay, now let's get into the real analysis. In modern conflict zones, the same pattern keeps playing out, over and over, and it's flipping how militaries think about warfare. An armored column pushes forward. Engines roaring, thousands of horsepower under the hood. The crew inside feels confident, wrapped in hundreds of millimeters of frontal armor. But above them, completely out of sight, a modified commercial drone, cheap camera, small explosive payload, is just waiting. Then it dives. The blast is small. The damage isn't. This is exactly what's making defense analysts rethink everything. Cheap drones used to get brushed off as a minor nuisance. Now, a lot of experts are calling them the biggest threat to armored vehicles since the first generation of anti-tank missiles. Why? Because the math completely changed. Used to be, taking out one tank meant you needed another tank, or some ridiculously expensive precision missile. Now all you need is $300, a small motor, a battery, and someone with a steady hand. The real weak spot isn't that legendary frontal armor on the Leopard. It's up top, the turret roof, where the armor's thinnest, designed decades ago to stop artillery shrapnel, not a precision strike coming straight down from the sky. That's the design flaw nobody in the 1970s ever saw coming. The threat doesn't come from the front anymore. It comes from above. And in tense border regions, Eastern Europe, the Middle East, everywhere in between, commanders are recalculating their whole strategy. It's not just how many enemy tanks are out there anymore. It's how many drones might be hiding behind them. So does this mean the tank is done? Our verdict: not quite. Tanks still dominate in firepower, frontline protection, and that psychological weight they carry in conventional warfare. No drone can hold territory or protect infantry the way armor can. But the era of being untouchable? That's over. Militaries worldwide are being forced to pour money into close-range air defense, anti-drone netting, tactics nobody was even thinking about a few years back. Germany itself, through its latest modernization program, has started adding active protection systems and overhead threat detection. A quiet admission that the battlefield has changed for good. The Leopard 2 will keep rolling forward. Its reputation still makes enemies think twice. But above it, there's always something watching. The age of fearing steel giants is quietly turning into an age of fearing something way smaller, way quieter, almost invisible. Germany built machines the world respected for their raw power. Now the world's learning power alone was never enough to guarantee a win.